today. So my name is Samir Sohani. I'm currently working as a research associate in the Research Advisory and Training Unit of Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited. So Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited, for those who do not know, Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited arranges a webinar every month addressing contemporary issues regarding the economy and the business. So today, we are gathered here to talk about the impact of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel on the economic growth of Bangladesh. So as like our previous webinars, we have very distinguished panelists. We have here we are very, very privileged to have here Mr. Abu Said and Mr. MD Abdul Rahim Khan, Additional Secretary and Head of the Export Wing of Sir has been working for the Bangladesh government for a very long time, and he has been working on the policy level to remove the trade barriers. So welcome to our webinar, sir. And we are also very privileged to have here Mr. Abu Said, MD Sheikhul Islam, FCMA. Sir is a professional accountant and a certified management consultant. And currently he is working as financial advisor and management consultant in the Rupayan Group and Bridge Holdings Limited. He's also a director and convener of the Board Audit Committee in Dhaka Power Distribution Company Limited. And yes, also from the BDRAL family, we have Mr. MD Kamrul Bari, MIPA AFA. He is currently working as the first assistant vice president in the Advisory Research and Training Unit of BDRAL. And last but not the least, we have our CEO, sir, Dr. Said Abdullah Mamun, FCMA, as the moderator of today's program. So and yes, also today's program is very special because we have our two board of directors. We have Mr. Misbauddin Ahmed. Sir is the director of BDRAL and vice chairman of Dun & Bradstreet South Asia Middle East Limited. And we have here Mr. Himadri Bora, who is also director of BDRAL and chief strategy officer of Dun & Bradstreet South Asia Middle East Limited. I welcome everyone to today's program. And yes, before handing over to Mamun sir, I would like to say that we will have a question answer session. So those who want to ask us any question related to our topic, please ask it on the question box and you will get your answer at the end of our program. So that's all from me. I would like to ask Mamun sir to take the floor. Over to you, Mamun sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Samira, for your nice introduction. Can I share the screen? So respected ladies and gentlemen, welcome all of you to today's BDRAL monthly webinar on the economic impact of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel on economic growth of Bangladesh. As you all know that Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited always try to discuss and share the contemporary economic issues with its possible impacts in the business environment, economy, as well as the economic growth of the country, considering the global and the local perspectives. So in this process, today's topic is a very burning issues because just yesterday, the tunnel has initially launched, which is one of the first such a kind of project in Bangladesh and one of the prioritized project, the fast track prioritized project in context of Bangladesh. So this is the BDRAL synopsis that is done. This is a subsidiary of the Dun & Bradstreet South Asia Middle East Limited and incorporated in the 22nd June 2008. And it received license in 2012 from Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission. And it has already got the ICAI from Bangladesh Bank for the SME rating as well as the corporate rating. And it has already done more than 37,000 SME rating and more than 300 corporate ratings. And these are the proud shareholders of the Dun & Bradstreet. All are the renowned financial institutions in Bangladesh. And Dun & Bradstreet, as is an American company, is a more than 200 years company, and almost 90% Fortune 500 company rely on DNB data, and having the more than, in fact, 500 million business records. It will be not 400, so 500. And Dun & Bradstreet's South Asia, Middle East, established in 2003, and it looks after the business operation of the Dubai, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, and it has reached 67 markets in South Asia, Middle East, and Africa. With these business like operational line, including risk management, rating agency, credit bureau, sales and marketing solution, economic analysis group, research and advisory services, and financial technology solutions as well. And the key engagement of the BDRAL is the credit rating and research and advisory services, including economic analysis, industry analysis, business advisory services, and ESG analysis for the company. And publications, we also like try to focus on the contemporary issues of the business and economics, and we conduct the different impact analysis. And also we have a flagship publication, that is SMEs of the Bangladesh series, in collaboration with the SME Foundation. And we have also conducted some training to disseminate the knowledge in the industry, as well as it try to equip our internal people on the continuous basis. And the uniqueness of the BDRAL credit rating, it provides independent opinion and the rating analysis by the internationally trained analyst. And BDRAL credit rating try to provide insights for the financial strategy. It creates not only the rating, but also it creates the inputs for the business decision makings. Also, the business strategy analysis conducted during the process of the credit rating. And the key features of the credit rate, like BDRAL is a subsidiary of the Dun & Bradstreet. South Asia, Middle East is a global company, and highly qualified and internationally trained human resources. And robust credit methodology has been used to conduct the credit rating. And continuous economic and business research create the strong basis for us to have the proper understanding about the local and the global business, which gives us as a strong footprint for analyzing a particular company, considering the business and economic environment. And the countrywide business network, which helps the BDRAL to reach in any business operation across the whole Bangladesh. And we try to find the truth from the data. And during the process of finding the truth from the data, we try to get better insights so that business can take better decision for achieving their goal. The bottom line is that BDRAL foster for the credible credit rating for the sustainable business growth, and in turn, which can help also the sustainable economic growth as well. And today's topic is impact of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel on economic growth of Bangladesh. And we are very happy to get the two very eminent professionals and government high officials to share their opinion about how does a particular project, important project, can play a very important role in the economic growth of the Bangladesh. And at this stage, may I request Mr. Kamrul Bari to present the key facts and the conceptual framework of the tunnel projects and its possible impact on the economic growth. After that, we will listen from the expert opinion from our panelists. Yeah, Mr. Kamrul Bari.
Thank you, and assalamu alaikum. It's an honor and privilege to get an opportunity to talk in front of such an audience, I must say. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to DNB and BDRAL management for basically arranging this program on this particular topic and giving me an opportunity to create some sort of a backdrop, or let's say a framework based on which the program is going to discuss. Program is going to be progressed. Well, so first of all, I have a slide to share. So
yeah, you can share it.
Just give me a second.
Screen share.
Thank you. By the way, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and your screen can be seen.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Well, for
could you please give your slide for the presentation mode?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So basically, our main topic of discussion is Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel on economic growth of Bangladesh. Obviously, before we look into the discussion, or let's say how the session is going to progress, before we shed some light on that, so let us have a look at a few pictures of the tunnel, starting from, let's say, the planning stage. And as you can see, there are some planning stage photos, and also at the same time, some finishing stage photos. So this is basically the tunnel, which is going to connect two sides of the river, as you can see here. And the tunnel is located in Chattogram. So it is also important for us to learn about Chattogram. Most of us, we already know about the importance of Chattogram in Bangladesh. But just to give you an idea, even I was wondering, I mean, how much is the contribution of Chattogram? Because we know that it is an important city, but how important is it? So while I was looking through the data, I found that Chattogram adds approximately $43 billion to the national economy. So the GDP of Chattogram alone is 43 billion. It accounts for approximately 1/5 of the total economy, which is approximately 20%. The port, the most important port of the country, is also located in this particular location, and it accounts for approximately 90% of all international trade. Excuse me. And 38 billion out of the total exports, which we normally export on every year, so actually comes from Chittagong. Shipbuilding industry is a very important industry, and it contributes to approximately $400 million annually to the economy of the country. Then Matarbari Deep Sea Port, Bay Terminal, Potenka Container Terminal, these are some of the projects which has not yet been implemented, fully implemented or finished. But once they are completed, so they are going to actually double the capacity handling, or let's say, I should rather say, the capacity of the Chittagong port for handling different cargoes. So it is going to add to the national economy. Excuse me. Well, now let's come to the some basic idea related to the tunnel project itself. So the overall cost of the tunnel, as estimated very recently, is approximately $1.1 billion. And this can be considered as the overall investment in the tunnel project by the government. And operational cost is approximately $3.9 billion US dollar. And basically, I guess there is a typo here. Well, anyway, so this is basically, this is going to be basically operational, on an operational stage. Every year, this amount of money is going to be considered as a cost. We are going to incur this amount of cost on a regular basis. Then comes the major benefits. The major benefits, number one, is reduction of distance. So distance between Dhaka and Chittagong, distance between, let's say, Chittagong and Cox's Bazar. So these distances are basically going to be reduced. And I'm going to shed shed light on a few more points related to this particular issue. So after a while, then comes ease of communication. So specifically for those who are living on the south bank of Kornufuli River. And it is also going to basically establish a connection with ease the connection with, let's say, Shah Amanat International Airport. An industrial park has already been constructed, and it is going to basically it is going to cater to the needs of mostly the exporters. I mean, the exporters as well as, let's say, the countries who are dependent on Bangladeshi exports. First of all, to understand the impact on the economy of the country, so we need to have a holistic view of direct economic impact. So this is why basically I have laid out this model. So as Mamun Bhai was talking about, let's say, giving an idea about the conceptual framework, this is the first framework that I'm going to share here. So as you can see, the economic benefit here, or the economic impact on the economy here as a whole, so it is basically getting affected by the trade dimension, by the investment dimension, then the value addition dimension, revenue generation, and financing dimension. So our honorable panelists are also going to cover the details. I'm not going to cover the detail. I'm just going to give, let's say, an idea about what is going to be discussed in the session. So if you look at this particular picture, it gives you basically a bird's eye view of what we're going to do today. So the value addition, it can come from many different sources, but basically the value addition hits from the wage dimension, wage of the people who will be employed due to this project. Then time and cost savings. Time savings is an important issue. We know that time is money. And then cost savings. So the cost savings can be coming from many different sources, starting from, let's say, maintaining cost of the vehicles, then let's say the full cost. So then obviously if the distance reduces, then also more and more travels, or let's say more and more round trips can be made. So that also adds to the overall value, and it basically fits the economy as a whole. Then comes revenue generation. We already know that revenue is generated through toll. So that is going to basically give a stream of cash flow to the government. Then comes financing. So financing has got many different kinds of side effects. So every government wants to reduce the cost as much as possible, wants to arrange the finance at the lowest possible cost. And this financing also has direct impact on the overall economic development. So if we cannot arrange financing, let's say at a reasonable cost, then ultimately it becomes very difficult for the country to survive. So we have recent examples from, let's say, around us, specifically the neighboring countries. So what may happen in this particular cases? We are fortunate that the tunnel project is obviously just a $1.1 billion project, and also 50% of the financing is coming from the government itself, approximately, and the other 50% is going to come, approximately other 50% is going to come from China. Then the social dimension. So if you just have a look at here, you can see that there are many different kinds of social impact. First of all, the acceptance of general people. We know that acceptance of every project is extremely important. We saw that many different infrastructural projects could not be implemented because people did not accept them. People did not like those projects. They did not support those projects. So from there, you have, let's say, a social exchange perspective. So people normally try to view a project from two dimensions. One is the benefit, another one is the cost. So what benefit they are going to receive and what will be the costs that they are going to incur. So based on this, basically they try to evaluate a project. So to give a rough idea about the cost and benefit, I'm going to, let's say, shed some light on this particular, some particular issues related to the social exchanges and the perception of individuals. First of all, let's say if we talk about the benefit, then what is going to be the benefit which is going to be coming from this particular project? Number one, as I've already mentioned, one most important social benefit is going to be employment. Approximately 5,000, I guess, if I'm not wrong, the number is between 3,000 to 5,000 people per year will be employed because of this tunnel project. And this is the initial estimation, which has been made, let's say, the feasibility study back in 2013. So this is 2021. So already several establishments are there. And because of that, obviously, as you can see, the number is going to compound in the coming years, and it is going to obviously exceed the expectation and exceed the numbers which have been presented in the feasibility study. It will exceed it by several times. That is what at least I can understand from the project itself. Then comes the cost. So there are definitely different kinds of costs. So one issue is, as you can see, the property damage. So basically, there are very interesting dimension of this particular project. So we know that land has to be acquired. So in this particular project also, land was acquired and agricultural land reduced. So some may argue that, okay, it had some sort of a negative impact on the overall, let's say, agricultural production of this particular country. Hello. Am I disconnected?
Yeah, no, we can hear you.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, I saw a message, so yeah.
Okay. You
Anyway,
have
so
3 more minutes. Verify, you have 3 more minutes
okay,
to wrap up. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I'll be trying to finish as quickly as possible. So basically the benefits, as well as I was saying, that one of the most important benefit was, as mentioned, the employment. Another one is, let's say, the negative side of it. Now, there is a study by BIDS which says that now it is very important for us to shift different kinds of industrial projects, or let's say projects, infrastructural projects, the projects which are going to promote industrial production. We need to take them to the levers. So instead of taking the levers to different cities or different locations, now we need to take, let's say, initiatives close to the lever. So, and the benefit is going to obviously outweigh the cost. And in that particular discussion session also, there were different questions related to agricultural production. So in one hand, basically, we're losing cultivable lands. But on the other hand, we are increasing the efficiency. We are adding more value. So that is also another very interesting aspect of looking at it. So if we look at it from the cost and benefit dimension, then definitely benefit outweigh the cost by several times. And that is what is going to be obviously discussed qualitatively and quantitatively by our respective panelists in today's session. Then, as you can see, the loss of public space and amenities, even though it seems that it is a cost, this is not going to be the case for this particular project, because tourism spots will be developed and more value will be added to the economy from that activity as well. Now, these concerns and acceptances, they also have indirect and long-term impact on the overall economy. So I already discussed about this. This is basically the main model, that the financial and social benefit, financial cost, social cost, they have a collective impact on the growth contribution. This too has a negative impact, this too has positive impact, and if the positive impact outweigh this too, then obviously the growth is going to be positive. Now, there are several estimations, and those estimations are all giving, let's say, positive signal. If we look at the, let's say, one of the dimensions which have been presented in the feasibility study itself, it says, just by looking at the wage itself of the employees, we can guess, and we can identify that approximately $4.4 billion worth of value will be added to the economy. So that is only one dimension, but there are several other dimensions which are not mentioned in the feasibility study. So let me just give you a very basic, structure related to them, which definitely our respected panelists will be mentioning. So the trade and investment dimensions, these two dimensions have completely been excluded from analysis. They also have a direct impact on overall economy. Then the logistics, they have a direct impact on overall economy. So then the volume of trade, not only the overall money that we are going to receive from the trade itself, rather the volume of trade, that also adds to the revenue. From revenue dimension also, we have did it benefit? So which has not been included in the feasibility study. Well, a series of events, we already know that this project is going to cut distance, and obviously one of the predecessors of this project is definitely economic growth. So definitely it is going to add to the economic growth. Business initiatives, as I mentioned already, in the industrial park already, several large conglomerates, they have established their business operations. And from that, a huge amount of money has already been added to the economy, and it will continue, it will even expand in the days to come. That, as I've mentioned, another very interesting dimension of value addition to the economy is utilization of land. So from there also, we are going to get extreme benefits. Excuse me. Now, to be very specific, the distance between Dhaka and Chattogram is going to be reduced by 50 kilometers, and Chattogram and Cox's Bazar is going to be reduced by 15 kilometers. And this is basically, this information is basically about the tourism spot at Parki. As you can see, this is Potenka and this is Parki. So here a tourism spot is going to be developed. So it is going to also add to the GDP of the country and also to the employment generation activities. Now comes some of the theories. So I'm not going to basically go into the detail of the theories. Rather, I'm going to shed some light on what happened around the world, which basically gave us a better understanding of how economic growth is affected by these kinds of projects. When these kinds of transportation-based projects are initiated, so then time is saved. And as you can see, a distance is saved. So this particular point here, it says distance decay forms an important concept. So due to the distance decay, you see what happens, round trips, as I mentioned already, round trips increases, then freight cost, it reduces. They have impact on the overall economy as a whole. As the central place theory suggests, consumers and producers, they try to concentrate their activities around the central places. Now, in this particular case, the central place can be Chattogram city itself, the port itself. So there are several central places here. So these central places are getting connected through the tunnel. So gradually, due to the starting of the industrial production, what is going to happen is that over time, there is a possibility, there is a potential that the tunnel itself is also going to create. Excuse me. Surrounding the tunnel itself, also there may be a tunnel itself can also turn itself into, let's say, a central place pretty soon. Then comes multiple nuclei theory. So it says that a city might start just by starting of a single central business district. So the place itself can become a city and can be considered as an extension, or will become probably in future as an extension of the Chattogram city as a whole. So that potential is there. An example is Chicago. So just because of becoming, let's say, a transportation hub, so it turned itself into a major city in USA. So that's pretty much it. So basically, it gives you an idea. There are social dimensions, there are sustainability dimension, means environmental aspects, and also there are, let's say, well-being, social well-being dimension, then value addition dimension in terms of trade, value addition dimension in terms of investment, value addition dimension in terms of, let's say, employment generation, and all these are going to basically add value to the economy as a whole. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and the respected panelists will definitely shed light on this area with greater detail and greater recall. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kamrul Bari, for your conceptual model. I hope that our discussion can be surrounded with them. So I think there is a news.
Okay. If I may interrupt, sir. Our Honorable Chairman, sir, Rajesh Mirchandani, sir, is here.
Okay, okay. Rajesh, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, very happy to get you as well. So I think, so would you like to add? Yeah.
You can't see me, I think.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
not visible. So let's continue. I will
Mhm.
probably say some words at the end. Let's continue.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. We can see your screen only.
Okay,
Okay.
I know. Yes, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening,
So
sir.
we have the very eminent business professional, uh, Mr. Saikul Islam FCMA. Is a very like person with a passionate business environment analyst. I must say that he has a multiple. In fact, he is the author of multiple books about the business environment of Bangladesh, and the most importantly about today's large project in perspectives. He worked for a long time in the leadership role of the company, pioneer company of the infrastructure company in Bangladesh, that is Concord. And he has also association with other infrastructure company. So from from his background as well as an experience perspective, I think he's the right person today to tell us, to share the audience more about the impact of such a big projects. So before going to like giving him the opportunity or giving him the floor, like I would like to just add one more point that is along with our conceptual paper. That is the uniqueness of the Bangabandhu Tunnel project is that this project will create the advantages of another large project, that is Matarbari Seaport. So this project is not only itself is creating the economic direct and indirect economic impact. This project is creating the synergy with another project, and the multiple indirect impact can be created with the collaboration of this project as well as the deep sea project. And another aspect of this project which really attracts us to select and to discuss is economic implications, that it has the branding impact of Bangladesh as well. I believe that this was a challenging project like Bangladesh to implement, and when Bangladesh has successfully implemented it, it gives a very positive message to the investors and the policymakers of the global community. So this is a device by which people around the world can get better confidence about the prosperity, about the capability, and about the positive intention of Bangladesh and policymakers of Bangladesh to strengthen and improve the business environment of Bangladesh. So with this backdrop, now may I request Mr. Saikul Islam FCMA to shed the light on the issue that how does this particular proud project of Bangladesh can create the possible economic impacts in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mamun, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you very
And
much.
see your beautiful and smart faces as well.
No, today I was too much busy, and sorry for late attendance in your Zoom meeting. Sorry for the delay, and unfortunately I could not listen the paper presenter's speech. It would have been very good if I could listen to him from the very beginning. However, you know, for economic development and for the growth of a country, inclusive, not only economic, inclusive socio-economic development is a precondition. And economic development happens when your business, your industry grows. And we are very lucky. It is a gift of Almighty Allah that we have Bay of Bengal. And due to the global changes in the politics, global politics and relationship with China, with America and rest of the Europe, it is certain that the business will be shifted from China to anywhere else. And in that case, the Bay of Bengal adjacent area are the best choice. You know, Bay of Bengal is connected with the Indian Ocean and connected. Indian Ocean is connected with the whole world. So the Big B, it is called Big B, Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt. It is the next development stage of Bangladesh, and you know very well, and everybody knows well that the Kondofudi Tunnel is going to connect Chittagong with the Anwara and whole Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt. So needless to say that it is going to give positive contribution to our vision 2023 and 2030. The whole area of the other part of the Kondofuli will be developed gradually. And as you said, the deep sea port is a dream of Bangladesh. It will be happen very soon, I think. So all of this connectivity, main thing is the connectivity. India has a very seven sisters landlocked countries. Bangladesh is very, very fortunate. Bangladesh has a very sea port and sea connectivity. And Bangladesh has done very positive steps with executing various agreements with India, Myanmar, Nepal for developing the connectivity. All this connectivity will be centered with Chittagong, and Chittagong will be connected with the Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt, and that will create industries, that will create service sectors, that will create thousands of job opportunities. And you know, in the Anwara Upazila, not only industry will be developed, there will be numerous projects for the entertainment, because the investors will come here. They will not work from morning to night. They will need entertainment. There are government has a very ambitious plan to prepare to develop a few entertainment projects over there. So it will be a commercial hub, industrial hub, the other part of the Kondofuli. And in that case, everybody can understand the importance of the Kondofuli tunnel. It is a vision of this present government. And as you said, it is the message to the rest of the world how Bangladesh can implement projects, dream projects, and how Bangladesh can really have positive contributions for attracting foreign investments for industries over here. So this is a very, very important project for the next development stage of Bangladesh. And with this development, Bangladesh will go a long way. And you know, the UN adopted sustainable development goals. There are provisions for having industrial cooperation among the countries of the United Nations. There are provisions for commercial and trade cooperations among the countries of the United Nations. And in that case, certainly the Kondofuli tunnel project will put positive contributions. I think that's all for the moment. If other question arise, I will take floor and speak on those issues. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunities.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saikul Islam, for your holistic points about the implications of the project. Yes, particularly one single element cannot ensure the economic growth. So you rightly mentioned that this project, as like the center place theory, can create a center place industrial hub. In addition, we all know that governments have already taken few ambitious projects of the tourism, promoting tourism, not only as the tourism industry, rather also to support the global industrial hub, promoting the global industrial hub. So as the element of the industrial hub, like tourism industry is going to be set up, and government is getting a lot of incentives to set up few industry. And another elements I want to add in the discussion, that if we look at that economic or geographical block, there are four very important elements at this moment in the Chattogram zone. One is that, like the largest sea beach, that is Chattogram, Cox's Bazar. And second one is that, like the Mireshwarai, that's the largest economic zone in whole Asia in terms of the landscape. That's a 50,000 acres land. So third one is that like Maheshkhali, that is a deep sea port. And fourth one is the Chattogram port, which used for the 90% of our export import. So I think along with these four strategic projects or elements, the current tunnel and successfully completion of the tunnel. So these 5 projects may create the synergy and be helpful for expedite the economic activities in that region. So with this backdrop, now I would like to invite our very distinguished guest of today's discussion, that is the Mr. Abdur Rahim Khan. Is the head of Export Wing, Ministry of Commerce, Additional Secretary, Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh. So, sir, would you like to please, may I request you to share your views about the role of the tunnel and such a big project on the economic growth of Bangladesh?
Uh, Thank you very much. In the very beginning, let me just explain. I am not in a position to, put on my camera as I am visiting a doctor with my daughter. So I was listening to the discussions, and the moment I heard my name, so I just came out of the chamber. And to be very precise, this is a very timely, discussion, at least to assess one of the mega projects that Bangladesh recently, almost implemented. As you know, the Honorable Prime Minister already opened the South Sea. And thank you, Mr. Kamrul Bari, for a detailed, synopsis, I should say. I mean, he has covered all the aspects of the impact of this project, social to economic, then to international trade. And again, I must be very thankful to Mr. Shaikul. I'm sorry if I am wrong in pronouncing his name. I really love his, propositions. He has, given a more holistic, impact of this project in our economy and social development. So I will not be very, long, as most of the points already been covered, and let me again congratulate Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited to organize this, discussion. At least this sort of discussion help us to understand, as I am in the government, that how much impact we are creating for the society, for the trade and economy. And then again, we can underscore what to do else. Then the rest journey, what should be the rest journey for the ultimate goal that our Honorable Prime Minister used to say, that by 2041, Bangladesh will be a Unnoto Samriddho Bangladesh. So that's the, medium-term target. And of course, as you know, there is a LDC graduation issue. In the 2026, we are graduating from a least development country category. And that poses also some challenges. So let me start with the assessment that I have in my mind. And of course, I'll try to avoid any repetition. That Portofoli Tunnel, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel, has created a unique, facilitation for our trade, what we call trade facilitation, in terms of lead time for the exporters, in terms of logistic cost, in terms of global supply chain ratio from Bangladesh side. So this is a huge impact on trade facilitation. And again, this is coming from the commitment of the government that we are creating or we are creating an enable environment for the business. And that is what this Bangabandhu Tunnel already made its point clear. And from the point of view that FDI, that we are really hungry for FDI. Not much FDI has taken place. There are reasons, but of course, to enable an environment for the overseas investors, you must have this kind of infrastructure in place. It not only build up their confidence to invest here, it also ensure the security of anybody's investment. So from this perspective, it is going to, of course, invite additional FDI. And the point MIDI, I hope you all know that Matarbari Integrated Development Initiative is one of the mega initiatives in the history of Bangladesh. And Bangabandhu Shilpa Nagari is going to be a game changer, I should say, in terms of investment, in terms of export, in terms of, employment generation and whatnot. So this game-changing project, MIDI, is connected somehow with this Bangabandhu Tunnel. So this is another, impact it is going to make. And as you know, that LDC graduation is also coming. It also has some challenge for Bangladesh. And the only way we can address, of many, there are other means to face the challenges, can be, bilateral trade relationship with the countries. Those we have a more, trade potential. Like some of you has mentioned about the relocation of industry from China. Some of you have mentioned probably the changing global value chain, global supply chain issues. But to me, that the challenges of bilateral relationship in terms of trade and investment, this is going to play of course, a significant role. And when we are basically negotiate from the Minister of Commerce, negotiate with the country, they like to see the infrastructure in place that is congenial for their sourcing, that is congenial for their investment. So again, I should say this Bangabandhu Tunnel is going to, impact extremely positive to change our trade domain, in particular the export. And as you know, according to 8 5-year plan, we have a target like $80 billion of export earnings by the year 2027 or 28 anyway. So this is this can also be possible if we can interconnect this Bangabandhu Tunnel project with the remaining other ensuing projects like Dhaka Chittagong Expressway, and then Deep Sea Port, and then Matarbari Integrated Development Initiative or Bangabandhu Shilpa Nagari. All these is going to be the game changing in the economic or trade domain of Bangladesh in near future. So thank you very much, Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited, to invite me and allow me to speak a few from my side. And I am hopeful to learn some new ideas and dimensions from the discussions they are going to join shortly. At this moment, I'd like to stop here. Thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. And we are very grateful to you that even you joined from in spite of that inconvenience, and our prayers for your daughter, and hope we will get you again in future for listening you and to be enlightened, because The Bangladesh Rating Agency, as a Dun and Bradstreet same subsidiary company, always would like to create a platform of knowledge sharing of government, public sector, private sector, and all experts to enlighten ourselves and also our clients. And we want to contribute in the growth of the company as well as the economy. So with this philosophy, now I'd like to again go to our another panelist, particularly about a specific two factors, in fact, not only two factors. One is that even Mr. Abdul Rashid also mentioned that FDI is one of our biggest concern for the Bangladesh economy, in terms of, in spite of that, a lot of achievements, like we cannot attract the FDI we should be for putting our economic growth in the next level. So my question is, in this case, is that to what extent this tunnel project, and recently Podda Bridge project has been completed, the tunnel launch, and in the mid of the December, another large project is going to be launched, introduced, that is the Metro Rail project. So these projects have been completed, but as we know that only the large project cannot ensure the growth, or cannot ensure or cannot portray the whole picture. There are other backward and forward linkage issues, like think about the Chattogram, that is, the other logistic issues are also required to ensure the business environment over there, so that the foreign investors feel more confident and they are encouraged to set up their industry in the economic zone and other adjacent area for taking the advantage of this infrastructure like deep sea port and these sort of large projects. So how do you think, or how do you assess that government should come up with the prompt initiatives to fixing or to create the linkage of these all elements to attract more FDI for Bangladesh?
Sorry, you're inviting whom?
Yeah, I'm inviting you. Yeah.
You're inviting me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Look, you have rightly said that the connectivity and the Kornofuli tunnel is not enough. It is, as I said, everything should be in a holistic approach. There are many issues. Foreign investors want to see their life and money is safe. So our Bangladesh's law and order situation should be improved fast, so that they can think that their life and their money is safe. There are issues of taxes. If the other countries give them more tax incentives, and Bangladesh gives less tax incentives, why should they come? They should never come. Money is more sweeter than honey. So all the business people, all the industrialists, all the investors, all the foreign investors, actually what they want to make money for themselves. They will not come here in Bangladesh to help us. We shall create an environment so that a win-win situation is being created. They can make their money, we can change our fortune. Our people will be working, our demographic dividend will be, may turn into good shape, or it may be disastrous. They may only use us as slave. They may only create labor here in Bangladesh. So our policymakers should be very, very careful when giving the lands to them for developing the industries. The agreement should be very, very clear, so that they can use our intellectual people like you and me. They cannot hire the people from abroad. Of course, they will hire people from abroad, but there must be a limit. Some company will only try to hire laborers from here. In that case, Bangladesh will be turned into a labor provider countries. That we don't want. So there are many issues: connectivity issues, tax issues, law and order issues. all these issues should be, in a offered in a holistic approach, and the situation must be win-win situation. If we show any weakness and our negotiation skill is very weak, in that case we will not win in this effort. We will just spend money, and at the end of the day there will be a horse egg. So policymakers, I think they should think of this, all the facilities and all the rights and all the obligations, all the facilities. And in spite of this, you have said the example of the Miresharai Bangabandhu Industrial Park Zone. What is the biggest problem over there? The Japanese investors have come, the Indian investors have come. A specific zone has been earmarked for the Indian investors. But what is the problem? Problem should be identified well ahead, and there should have clear-cut solution for the problems. The biggest problem in the industrial park is the water solution. At the beginning, our planners thought that the water under the surface will be enough to meet the demand. But more than 1 million people will be working there as per plan, and many industries will be set up there. Water will be required for the 1 million people. Water will be required for the industry itself. But now when the experts are working there, they see the water is not enough under the surface. So they are thinking to take water from the Muhuri river nearby. But the experts are telling that the water of Muhuri river is not enough. What is the solution? So now the next solution is take water from the Meghna river. It is very, very expensive. The another solution is to desanitize the seawater, because seawater is not the usable condition. There are salts. So Middle East countries use the seawater through desanitization. That is a very, very expensive project. So Bangladesh has to think all of these things and make the solution in favor of the government's vision 2030 and 2040, so that a win-win situation is created. We will win, and the foreign investors will win. I think that's all for you at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we are also hoping like that our government as well as in private sector will work together to fix all of these problems, to give more confidence to the foreign investors as well as local entrepreneur, to expedite the industrialization, exploiting the opportunities of like international standard infrastructure. So at this stage, I'd like to take some questions from the participants. If do they have any curiosity, then you can ask the questions to the panelists. So you can raise your hand if you have any questions. Okay. So meanwhile, I think everyone get the core message. Meanwhile, we are very delighted to have our chairman, Mr. Rajesh. He is a very eminent global business professional. And I always say that he's an impactful leader. He's leading from front as a very big team in a global company, and always inspire us, guide us to achieve our goal with the main principle of the DNB, that is to contribute in the growth of a company as well as to the economy. So here, like, may I request Sir Rajesh to make few comments and
Sure.
Share your thoughts about that.
Sure. So good evening to everybody. I know it's getting late for all of you, but it's really a pleasure to see such webinars being conducted by the Bangladesh Rating Agency. And I would sincerely like to thank Mr. Shaikhul Islam and Mr. Abdur Rahim Khan for their active participation. And Mr. Shaikhul Islam, the way you were responding to Dr. Mahmood's question about what else is required once you've got the infrastructure in place, the passion was very, very visible. And if we don't have that, nothing can be achieved. So I applaud you for all your passion, confidence, and the wisdom that you have provided to this. Of course, along with my colleague, Mr. Kamrul Bari, thank you for all the presentations and discussions. So I have been visiting Bangladesh. I've had the fortune of visiting Bangladesh since 20 years now. And I've always been a very big supporter and votary of Bangladesh, because I've always seen the people of Bangladesh to be very, very industrious. They're all hardworking. They're trying to do more than they're capable of doing. However, I think they have in some ways got a huge disadvantage because of the lack of proper infrastructure. The amount of time people spend in a commute from a location to another location or from office to home, not only is it a waste of very dear diesel or petrol, but the loss of time, if we try to convert that into monetary numbers, it is just unfortunate that we have not been giving adequate focus to infrastructure. But I'm so glad to see that in the last few years, I think a lot of milestone projects have been coming up, including the one that we're discussing today. And infrastructure is the heart and soul of any country. You don't complete it overnight, you don't start getting results overnight, but it is required for the longevity and for the health of the people and a successful country model. Today, Singapore is always looked upon as a model example of how infrastructure, whether it is the ports, it is the MRT or the roads. Of course, it's a very small city, so it's unfair to compare Singapore to Bangladesh, which is so highly populated and much larger area in size. But yet, I think we have been a bit lackadaisical in focusing on our infrastructure. Now, whether it is soft or hard infrastructure obviously leads to, most importantly, millions of jobs being created. It helps in connecting supply chains to move goods, services, and people efficiently and effectively. With the demographic changes, with the aging and diversification of a society, if we do not take this up on a war footing, we have ourselves to blame. I think we owe it to our future generations to focus on infrastructure of our own countries and to respect that and to maintain it also. It's one thing to create an infrastructure, but it also has to be maintained. And that comes down to each of our individual citizens of the countries and whoever else is utilizing that infrastructure. So I'm very happy to see some landmark infrastructure projects, not just a ribbon cutting, but actually going live. I've attended some programs by the SEC when they do road shows internationally. And there's a lot of focus on trying to invite investments, whether they are from non-resident Bangladeshis or foreign investors, and all of them seem to be in the area of infrastructure. So I think we just need to accelerate what we are trying to do. And like Mr. Shaikhul Islam said, that if we don't make the environment conducive from all perspectives, things will take much longer to achieve, and then everybody will lose hope. So I really hope that we all take notice of how things are happening, how we can improve, so that we can invite foreign investors, we can invite the pension funds of the US and Canada, because they love to invest in infrastructure projects, provided they are confident of the local legal framework, if they are confident of the tax laws, if they're confident of the safety, which is not too much of an ask. So I really wish Bangladesh the very best in the future years to come. I know all of us are going through some internal issues right now because of the global economic scenario, whether it's on the currency, because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, because of the oil shortages. It is a bit of a difficult time, but I'm sure this will pass. And with God's grace, we will come out much stronger. So congratulations, Dr. Mamoon, and thank you to the panelists once again for having participated in this talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your very nice and encouraging words. I think all of we always get the inspiration and the direction which always put us in line with our vision, and also to create a positive impacts for our company as well as to the clients and economy as a whole. So we are really
Absolutely.
grateful for
Absolutely.
your impactful
No.
leadership. And I think if is there no comments or questions, then we'd like to conclude our session. So I'm again inviting, is there any comments or questions from anyone? Okay.
Mohan, if you
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
if you just allow me for 1 minute.
Sure.
Actually, yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Rajesh sir. And I'm also grateful for the opportunity, and also all the respected panelists, because of the rigorous coverage of this presentation. But just to add a very small statistics with what has already been discussed by all of you. The logistic cost in our country is one of the highest among the developing nations. So it is approximately $0.095 per ton. So approximately 10 cents per ton. And this is among the highest. We are the second as far as the transportation logistic cost is concerned. So any reduction in the logistic cost is going to basically improve our overall logistic performance, and it is going to add to the value. Specifically, it will reduce the overall cost of, let's say, transportation for the inputs, specifically when we are, let's say, importing raw material. Also, when we're sending, let's say, products abroad or exporting products abroad, it will also add to the benefits of the country, because we know that the export market is really, really competitive for our major products, specifically like, let's say, RMG. Even a cent savings in, let's say, a cent may basically translate into significant amount of, let's say, overall earnings of export. So this is one issue which basically I was interested to share, because the logistic cost is significantly higher. So we cannot imagine that how high this cost has become over the years. So this is basically taken from a World Bank report. And thanks for the opportunity to, giving me the opportunity to share this.
No. Thank you, Mr. Bari. But just to conclude on this, it's a valid point, and thank you for showing the monetary size of it. But I would still call this as a hard cost. But I think equally important is a soft cost in terms of the amount of time all of us spend in traffic from point A to point B. The erosion of the human resources and the loss of that time, I think, is as important if we try and monetize that. So both are equally important, but it's not just the logistics cost, but it's the mindset of the people. By the time you reach office, you are already tired, and you take an hour to recover, and so it's all tied into it together. So infrastructure is very, very, very critical. We all know that, but thankfully a lot is happening.
No,
Much more should
rightly,
happen.
yeah.
Yes, more should be happening, but at least we've made some major strides.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you, sir. I mean, if you just allow one more second, may I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Please.
Sir, I have gathered statistics, and you are absolutely, spot on this particular issue. And basically, they have taken into this particular issue of time savings into consideration, and the savings had been estimated as $30 million in 2030, and it will go up to $112.5 million by 2062, just because of the tunnel itself, sir. So, sorry. Thank you, sir.
In fact, thank you, Varibhai and Rajesh sir. So in fact, like for any project or overall situations, we can assess in terms of the double ESG. The first E is economic impact, Second one is that environment. Third one is a social, which Rajesh sir mentioned repeatedly. And fourth one is that the governance issues as well. So I think like in terms of the impact of such a projects or a bundle of large projects. So these large bundle of large projects will be helpful for improving the Bangladesh conditions in terms of double ESG parameter. It's all four parameters it will be. So I believe that today's discussion has helped us to get a lot of insights and given some new clues to think about the large projects like tunnel and also the economic implication of such projects. And thank you, the panelists, Mr. Saikul Islam, FCMA, and the another government representative high officials, Abdul Rahim, Mr. Abdul Rahim. So I believe that the participation and the knowledge-based participation and opinion, comments, and sharings have created resources which is worthy for all of us to get insights more about that issue. So hope to see you in the next episode again in the December with another new projects or new contemporary issues. So with these few words, again, thank you very much to all panelists, our chairman, and all participants. So thank you very much on behalf of the Bangladesh Rating Agency Limited, BDRAL. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.